I'm going to jump in. Like Jess said, I'm going to try and walk and talk, try to explain a little bit of stuff.
So before we get started, what is your character wearing?
I was just going to say that.
So cool.
You said no spoilers.
I haven't seen that before.
Well,
I know,
Okay.
but
So this is
have to tell
actually
people what that is.
a costume that you can earn by completing some quests
Yeah, we'll leave it
in
at
the
that.
zone, and I'll leave it at that.
great.
That's cool.
I'm going to try and walk.
So what
little
area is this?
So this is Satanin. This is the place that you basically get out of or arrive at when you finish the tutorial or when you first come to Morrowind.
So whether you start a new character or come here with your existing character, this is where you'll start out
Yes.
outside the tutorial.
Yep.
Great. And this should look familiar to anyone who played the Elder Scrolls
It
3.
does, and it's actually funny. One of the very first questions we saw when the original screenshot came out was, well, what the heck? Why is there kind of Imperial architecture in
Yeah.
Morrowind 700 years before the Imperials landed?
Right.
And Lawrence had a really good reply to this on a thread somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where it was, but he basically explained the lore behind this, in which the Gold Coast Trading Company has been granted access by the Tribunal to build an outpost, build a staging area. And so that's kind of what this is. And so that kind of explains a lot of things here. Oh, there's a sky shard over there. Sorry, spoilers.
Turn away, turn
Sorry.
away.
So Imperial architecture is so sturdy, it has withstood 700
Well,
years.
look at this, right? Like the plaster's cracking already. And,
No, it
and
looks
whatnot.
great.
So
And look at those doors.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And so this is actually in the swampy area, right? As you kind of come out of Satanin, just like you would, in the original, you get to see the swamps. I'm not going to kind of go too much further to not spoil too many things.
No,
yeah, but
that's
there's
fair.
some of the new.
There's some
Plant
new,
life
some
that
new
we've seen.
plants, some new flora, some new trees.
We should make some jumping puzzles using giant mushrooms.
No.
Players are already doing that with housing, which
Oh
is
yes,
amazing.
I've seen.
I'm going to get ready to jump to a new location soon. I think I'm going to go to Ald'ruhn. So if there's any questions on Satanin, get them out. Otherwise, get your questions ready for Ald'ruhn.
Somebody just said that looks like Satanin.
Yeah, that's
You are
right.
correct.
We did our
Very good.
jobs.
It is. You are correct.
There's a lot of people saying you should open the map and show everything, but I don't know if that's something we want to show today, right?
No, I'm going to actually make this as painful as possible for those people and really want it later. Like, no spoilers. We'll just jump to locations. We'll let you kind of figure it out
Giving
as
you
as
just
we
a
go.
little taste.
Little tease.
We have
here.
to leave some things for you guys to discover on
Absolutely.
your own.
Except for that one.
That
sky
might
shard.
look familiar to some people.
Oh,
Rich, you had
there it is,
mentioned
yep.
you mentioned the tutorial earlier. Is that something that existing characters can also go through?
Yeah, actually. So one of the
Oh,
things
that's a good question.
One of the things we had to do when we were setting everything up with the tutorial is how do we build an objective that has a tutorial aspect and has a regular gameplay aspect to it. And so we actually came up with what I think is a really clever solution for that. I'm not going to spoil how we did it, but yes, you can play through the tutorial kind of section.
So this is different
outside of that.
from the Wailing Prison, where you can't really go back there if you decided to skip it.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So you just jumped to a new area.
I
So
did.
this is
I'm ready.
Ald'ruhn?
So this is Ald'ruhn. This is a very, very, very different biome.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's
Look at
not
that lava.
swampy. This is in the Ashlands. This is basically right up against Red Mountain. And in Test 3, sorry, she is
I'm-
laughing at how I'm moving.
No, I'm giggling because I saw something from Spees saying that you look beautiful today.
Aw. Spees, you're
Does
so
he?
thoughtful.
Does he mean you?
I know he specifically said, "Tell Rich," I said.
Aw, thanks, Bees. So this location is steeped in lore. And in Test 3, this was actually the seat of power for the Redoran. And there was actually a city kind of built up here. This was actually, I think, the second most populated city in Morrowind. And in our timeline, it hasn't got that far yet. I'm going to run, actually, a little bit here. And in our
But
timeline...
it's a walking tour.
Okay, fine. It's a
No,
walking
no, you
tour.
can run.
And
just
so in our timeline, this is more an Ashlander holy site.
Ah.
And
What are those plants off to the left there?
over here. My left, Canadian left.
Yeah.
Sorry. Inside joke. Inside joke. Sorry.
Oh, those are really cool.
Yeah. My
Wow.
wife gives me grief because I always go opposite of whatever direction she says.
I do too.
I could walk around in first person. So
Yeah, somebody in chat was asking. First
What-
person, please.
first person. All
Yeah.
right. So
Looks pretty.
this is actually a holy site for the Ashlanders. This is where, for those that know the lore, this is where the Ashlander tribes got together to defeat a giant emperor mud crab named Scar. And in our timeline, we have it. Like, there's
That
Scar.
looks so cool.
I sprinted, sorry. And so you can see it. There's the legs, big badass mud crab.
Wow.
You actually, no spoilers, but you actually do get to go inside. There is an interior in there. It's this really cool big space. I'll actually move up a little closer here. So you can kind of get an idea of the scale and the size of this, but it's frickin' massive and it is cool as heck.
Yes. I see a lot of chat asking for the Slit Striders.
The Silt Striders?
Yes. You should stick around.
You should stick around.
That's all.
Stick around, yes.
So all the folks who are here currently at the site are Ashlanders?
These are Ashlanders, yeah. Like I said, this is an Ashlander holy site. I'll actually walk up to this guard so you can kind of get a cool look at
that's
some of
neat,
their
yeah.
gear, what we've kind of done.
And are those their banners in the back there?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And they're more nomadic, so they don't really have permanent structures. They're more tents and whatnot.
And it looks like there's a bunch of quests
There are.
here as
This
well,
is this is another kind of major hub, if you will. Although we don't really do hubs, more of a major hub than some of the other places. I'm going to get ready to jump to the next location.
Okay.
I'm going to
We're
go
ready.
to Sadrith Mora.
Everyone was really excited to see
Awesome.
the giant mud crab. They were like,
I'm
"Man,
surprised
there's
I
a
didn't
pet."
get any questions on this area.
They're basically just kind of like, this
Oh
is
my
awesome. This is
God.
cool.
Just enjoying
Yeah.
the tour.
Yep. Yes.
All right, so let's do this. Let's jump to Sadrith Mora.
So the reason we're not going into some of these places is we really want you guys to be able to experience it your first time.
Yeah, I mean,
In
spoilers.
life. Yeah, we don't want
We're
to
trying really hard
take
to-
away that magical moment because some of them, boy, you walk in and you just go,
Whoa! All right. So I'm here in Sadrith Mora now, right in front of a box, apparently. So
this is the
we
box.
should we should fix this jump point, but I guess it doesn't matter. So Sadrith Mora is home of the Telvanni, and you got to see some of the cool stuff. And so the Telvanni are known for being kind of these jerks. They're high magic. They kind of have slaves. They do all those things. So we touch on some dark themes, but they also are known for their mushrooms. And
big mushroom towers.
we had a lot of
Giant-
fun exploring the lore here and kind of defining it a little bit more. And one of the fun things, maybe I'll just stand first person. One of the fun things that we were able to do is kind of dig into, what's up with the mushrooms and why some are huge and some are small, and what we ended up, settling on is the older, wiser, more powerful a Telvanni wizard is, the more overgrown, the larger their mushroom tower is. And so when you come to this location, you can kind of see, I'm going to...
Chad is just freaking out.
Chad is freaking out. Well, that's good,
Really
right?
excited.
Good,
Yes,
good.
they're freaking out in a good way.
Let's sprint over here. So I'm going to sprint over here so you can kind of see a difference. So there's a tower kind of off in the distance there where...
So literally size is a measure of power.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
I wasn't going to go there. But
I was not going to go there. I'm totally glad you did that, though.
I mean, that's what you're saying.
Right.
Well,
As I recover...
let's just be honest
I
here.
got so excited I knocked my mic off. Wow. So, yeah, like I was saying, thanks, Jess. The Telvanni, the younger, the less powerful you are, the more tower-like your tower looks like, the less covered in mushrooms it is. So on the side there, you can kind of see a lower ranked one. And then up here, which obviously I'm walking into boxes, and sorry for the barf, up here, This is obviously,
Did you say sorry for the barf?
well, camera moving around.
Oh.
This is home
Oh, can we
of
look at their armor?
a powerful.
That's cool.
Well,
That's
hey,
really
dude,
No, that was in one of the
One of our screenshots,
Yeah.
it was. So I'm actually, because it's no spoilers, I'm actually going to go inside here because it's really, really cool.
Do it.
Um,
I don't think anyone will say no. Don't
Nobody
do
will say
that."
no.
So are the mushrooms growing kind of based on magic?
Yes.
In a way?
The Telvanni wizards kind of nurture and cultivate them.
Cool. Sorry.
You all right? Are we just going back to size doesn't matter? Is that what you're
No, it was a comment.
I didn't say it. I'm off the hook.
No, they said who owns that tower, Lord Farquhar. Oh, God, I got tears in my eyes.
Oh, good Lord. So this is the inside of the tower. It's this huge, gorgeous space. I know the artists really had a lot of fun kind of coming up with
Wow.
the
Yeah.
look and feel and, just the overall scope.
And
of
it's
this
so
stuff.
different from what we currently
It
have.
is,
too.
and that's the thing that I'm actually really excited about with Morrowind in general. Is it's it's kind of not your traditional fantasy. It's kind of alien, and it's kind of weird and different and whatnot. I plan on jumping to the next spot pretty soon. I'm going to go to one of my favorites, which is Balmora.
Okay.
Yeah, some people have been asking.
People
"Please
like
go to
Balmora,
Balmora," so
Balmora.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, she's
Balmora is
sweeping.
next.
She's sweeping.
She's
So
sweeping.
yeah, let's
You're making
jump to
a mess of her
Balmora here.
home. You gotta wipe your feet next
Gotta wipe
time.
my feet and he's fixing my mic.
Uh-oh.
CJ just totally covered
Oh.
covered the transition. I probably should have said right off the bat, we are doing this on the internal servers.
Oh,
It's
true.
not
Oh,
done
yeah.
yet.
Well, clearly it's not on the live servers.
Well, sure. But there's still a lot of stuff that's not in there. FPO, if you see that, that's for placement only. That allows us to kind of get all of the pieces in place. And then when the art comes online next, they do that. I'm in Balmora now.
Here we are.
They were all
Balmora.
saying that was an Argonian maid.
An Argonian maid.
Yeah,
Funny.
yes, it was.
It actually
was.
was.
So, Balmora. Some people will, oh, there's grass. Some people will recognize this right away. This is one of my favorite places because it's so nostalgic. This is one of the places that you go to pretty early on in Test 3. And
But
in
it
our
looks pretty
timeline,
different, yeah.
it is. This is, oh God, I have to say this word, Hlalu. Lawrence is probably killing me right now.
I think that was.
Fortunately,
that was a
he
good one.
records all of the pronunciation guide and stuff. So when we actually send out a bunch of the scripts for the voice actors, he actually records all the really difficult to pronounce names.
Oh, funny.
So
Does
they
he
can
ever-
hear him say them.
Does he ever hear you say one of those and just sends you the sound clip?
No.
It's actually this.
But, he is not afraid to correct us when we say something wrong.
Oh, yes. I'll frequently run upstairs and be like, quick, how do you pronounce this before I sound
And he doesn't
dumb?
even bat an eye, and
Yep.
he can pronounce a word that has 17 consonants in a row in it, and I don't know how he does it. But yeah, this is Balmora, Hlalu architecture. In our timeline, it's a little more lush. It's a little bit less arid. In our timeline, the ghost fence hasn't been erected yet, and so the Ashlands haven't really kind of taken over a bunch of Morrowind, and so it's a little bit more lush. There's a little bit more water around. It looks like it's a super busy kind of port, which is cool.
How long does it normally take the team to create just one of these areas? I mean, I
From
guess there's
initial concepts
yeah, there's a
to
lot of
creating
steps
the
to that, right?
assets to
Kind of the
world
gray
building and
box
everything.
build and-
It can take a while. The longest kind of pull is actually building the assets outright. That takes a while, and a lot of our
Oh, look,
assets.
the character's named Sheena too.
CJ fat fingered that one.
I'm not talking to any of you guys.
Oh, it's okay. We still love you. But yeah, it can take a while. The art team is usually way out ahead of us. They're 9-10 months ahead of us.
Yeah.
And just kind of go through the concept, get the assets built, that kind of stuff. And a lot of times when we start doing our world building, we're using temporary kind of gray box assets where
Right.
everything is gray. and you just kind of get the footprint and the shapes, but there's no textures, there's none of that stuff, none of that other stuff. I'm going to cheat and jump down here. Uh-oh.
Oh.
LOD.
Pink things.
LOD, it loaded, we're good.
Well, development server.
Yep. I was, because I know a lot of people have been really excited and have been asking about silt striders.
Yes.
Was going to walk over and show a silt strider, but somebody said no spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
Everyone's like, no.
On this server, the silt strider looks mucky, but I think I sent a screenshot to CJ.
We have a couple screenshots, yep.
That's what they look like, and that's the scale of what they look like.
And you're not
Wow.
even next to this thing.
I'm
like,
not next
you're
to it. I'm
off in the
way
distance.
back.
So you can't ride these, but
You cannot, but you can use them as a means of fast travel.
okay.
So they're
just like a way shrine.
separate from the way shrine, but yeah, there's an NPC that you can go and you can talk to, and they will take you to various locations. So they will take you to various major cities. I'm gonna jump one more time here. I'm surprised we haven't gotten any questions, which is cool. We're kind of going through there, but I'm gonna
I
jump.
think everyone's just kind of in like
Jaw drop,
awesome
awesome,
mode right
absorbing
now.
it.
Yep.
That's good. I'm gonna jump
Yep.
to Vivek City next.
So all of these areas, while you're jumping, all of them you'll be taken through when you're doing the main storyline. They all have their own quests, I imagine, that take you through them as well.
They do. So one of the things that we're trying to do with this, like we did at any other zone, is kind of have this organic storyline. So there is a main thread that kind of takes you through Vivek City, and you meet Vivek and whatnot. And then there are other side stories that kind of take you through Balmora and other places. But the main story, the Vivek story, does take you all across the entire island.
Cool.
Hey, I'm in a different
Lovely
spot than I thought I would
ships.
be. So I'm going to run over here. And one of the things that we've talked about. Uh-oh, I said a boot. I heard that. Damn it.
There's your Canadian.
Damn it. It came out. One of the things that we talked about with Vivek City in our timeline is it's still under construction. And so when you first arrive in Vivek City, you kind of come in through the builder's camp area. And this is it's under construction. This is where they're offloading a lot of the construction materials and whatnot. And there's a number of cantons in here, or pods, that are still under construction. Not all of them are built in Vivek City. So Vivek's Palace is, and there are some others that are, but a lot of them are still under construction. So I was just kind of run through Vivek City here. I don't know, first person probably better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
So you can kind of see the architecture and whatnot. I'm going to sprint through because this is docks. Not that docks aren't cool, but I think people really want to see, the cantons and what they look like.
So I know one of the questions that came up when we first started showing this stuff was, are all the cantons that were in Morrowind going to be in ESO Morrowind? And it sounds like some of them are still under construction,
A bunch
so
of
you
them
won't
are
be
still
able
under
to
construction, so you can't go in
step
all of
into
them.
all of them.
Right.
Right.
So, you get to kind of see the various states of construction. So, and they're all in different ones. There's actually one way on the far side over here. I'm sprinting.
So another question that's come up a lot is when people first saw Seidani, they said, why does it look so similar? 700 years in the difference. And hopefully now you can kind of see some of the other areas look quite different between this and Balmora.
Right. Yep, absolutely. So there's Red Mountain kind of in the distance. And so, like I said, it's still very much under construction. There's a whole bunch of cantons that aren't done.
But still very recognizable.
It's still very recognizable, which is really cool. And if you look off in the distance here, you can see that, one of the cantons has only been dredged. They've dug a hole out. They haven't even started construction on it.
They're asking if the water contains slaughterfish here.
If you go out far enough, yes. I'm going to make my way to Vivek's Palace here and go up to the palace, maybe? Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Let's do that.
I'm gathering a few questions
Okay.
for when we're finished.
Ask away. So I'm walking and talking. I can do that.
I cannot
Oh.
speak and copy paste and read and speak and copy paste
And copy
at the
paste.
same time.
Are those new lanterns?
There's a
Really
bunch of
cool.
new assets that were created, which is cool.
Oh, I hope we can get those for our houses.
There will be a whole bunch of cool stuff for housing. I feel like I'm moving so slow. I'm used to running around, sprinting everywhere I go.
So this is going up the steps of.
I'm making my way to
Vivek's
Vivek's Palace.
Okay.
So there's the giant stairway straight
there's
ahead.
some new rugs, tapestries. Oh, those
Some
are
really
neat.
cool new things.
Some new rugs.
The rugs are. What? I like the rugs.
Jess is getting ready to decorate her house.
I was going to say. We have this awesome building here with a million steps, and Jess is like, ooh, a rug. I'm just.
I'll have you know I like all the mosaic work too.
I
I'll
enjoy
kind of
that
walk
very
up here
much.
and kind of show this. You know, this is
Oh,
another
that's
new,
neat.
which is pretty cool. New armor.
Is that Ordinator?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then, oh my gosh,
We should have a trivia where we ask how many how many steps do you think lead up to?
I love that.
they have to count them all as I'm going and sprinting. I'm gonna sprint. I'm sorry.
Do it.
I'm impatient. I'm sorry. I'll go up slowly when I get to the top.
I like the lanterns.
Oh, there's the
though.
hand logo
What?
right there.
Right there.
Oh yeah, I missed
The
that.
top.
Rich, do you know if this our Morrowind takes place after the plane meld or before?
So it's a separate storyline. So it's in the rough general timeline, which is, you know, one of the things we had to do with this new chapter was how does it on ramp into the Molag Bal story, which is the base game. And so we've had to, you know, come up with a way to solve that, and we did. So you can actually, if you've never done the main story of the base game, when you leave Morrowind, you can actually get on ramped, and it makes sense.
What kind of armor is that? Also, is that a
That's-
new glass armor?
That's the these are buoyant armigers. Lawrence has just killed me again for the second time.
I hear him face palming from here.
They are Vivek's palatial guardsmen. I don't actually think I want to go in and spoil the interior, so I'm just going to
agree
kind of
with
turn
you.
around and
Wow, look at that view.
there's the city. There's the and just kind of leave it there. I think
First person.
first person. Yeah. There you go.
Oh wow.
So you can kind of get a really
That's a
cool
great view.
shot. You know,
Yeah.
the volcano's in there. I haven't started the main story, so Bardau is way up there in the distance, which is cool. But yeah, lots of cool stuff there.
Nice.
Awesome.
This was really